Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since my last video. I'm very sorry about that, but I've been very busy with work and with life, so I haven't had a lot of time to make videos like this. About 2 years ago, I released a song called Forever with Sooth Records, and since then it's been on an editorial playlist called Lofi Sleep and has gotten over 2.5 million streams on Spotify. And since it's still on the playlist ever since the release, I think the track gives a good idea about what they want for playlists like that. So today I'm breaking down the track so you can take some inspiration from it, take some ideas, and maybe develop your own track from them, and maybe get a little bit closer to getting on that editorial playlist we all want to. So let's jump into the Ableton Project and we can see what kind of stuff we have going on. Let's go. So here we are in the project. We have some different stuff going on, and let's just check it from the top. The main element of the track is an E-piano that sounds like this. And it's playing some chords that sound very lovely. It's playing a G major add 9 chord, and then it's playing a C major 7. And it's just shifting between those two chords. The E-piano I use for this is just a stock Ableton E-piano basic. I might have messed a little bit with the parameters down here. Then took out some of the low end, fresh air, give it some more high and mid, and then we put on a radiator, which is like a tube saturator from Town Toys. I have a tape emulator called Tape Mellow-Fi, which I've used a lot in all my production. It was free once, I don't know if it's free still. Using the Rhodes warm-up presets, turning down the wear and the mechanics and the noise. This plugin is just giving some drive and some flutter and wow. And then we have the stereo width knob on, so it's more stereo. Then we have some delay and some reverb. Also in the intro we have the same E-piano with the same settings. Playing a little kind of drone thing. Just playing the G and the D. It's the same E-piano I've used, same plugins after that, reverb, tube saturation, stuff like that. Then when the drop hits, we get another Rhodes C E-piano sound. This one is a little more gritty and more lo-fi-ish. This is a one-shot from Splice. You can see the name down here if you want to check it out. Just playing the same chords as the other E-piano up here. Just giving some more grit and some dynamic change from the intro to the drop. We also have a bass coming in at the drop here. Just playing the root notes. Some leading tones. Very simple stuff again. We also have some drums coming in. Again, these are also super simple. Just a kick and a snare. This kick is from a Gerardo sample pack, from a Sleepy drum kit sample pack. All I've done to it is taking out some of the high end. Then we have a snare from another sample pack. Taking out a lot of the high end. You don't want in the Sleepy lo-fi tracks, you don't want the snare to be too poked, so I always tend to remove a lot of the high end in my. Just a quick plug, if you need some Sleepy lo-fi drums in general, I have a sample pack linked in the description of my own. It's only $10. If you want to support the channel and at the same time get something out of it, I would recommend checking out that sample pack. There are some sample tracks from a different lo-fi producers from the scene, so you can get an idea of how some of the sample sounds. Just to give it really mellow. And the same with the kick. I don't want a super clicky kick. I want a really soft kick, as you can hear. Then we have a little bit of a snare double thing here. Sounds like this, just to lead into the every other snare. And then we have a little bit of shaker also, just right before one of the snares. And then a hi-hat. Again, super simple hi-hat. Just playing the 8th notes. And then we have a shaker. Also very low in the mix. Altogether the first drop sounds like this. Then we also have some vinyl crackle and some rainy sounds with some bird squeaks in the background. We keep some of the drums going. Actually all of the drums, but we filter out, as you can see, with the two first auto filters here. Filter out some of the high end and some of the low end. And then of course, when the drum come back in, we fade it in again. And then take it out completely when we hit the drop. That's a thing I like to do a lot in my lo-fi tracks. Keep some of the drums going, but filtering out a lot of the high end and a lot of the low end. Also, now we're on the drum bus. First off, on almost all my drum buses, I like to have a group drum bus compressor. This is the one I tend to use, the SSL comp from Waves. And as you can see, it's barely doing anything. It's only at the peaks with the kick and the snare that is like taking a little bit of the peaks. And then we have another SSL plugin. This is an EQ plugin, boosting a little bit 10K, I can see, taking out a little bit of the 3K, and boosting a little bit of the low end as well. Then we have a multiband compressor at 10%. This is just one I drag in stock Ableton and then just took down the dry wet knob to 10%. Then we have a radiator again, tube saturation. And then again we have a tape emulator. In this case I have only used the drive knob to get some tape saturation for the drums. And then at the end we have another glue compressor doing a little bit more than the first one. So that's on the drum bus. Kind of a lot going on. I would probably not use all of this stuff if I made the track today. I would probably not use the last compressor and the multiband compression. But all the other stuff I still use when I mix my drums. Then at the final drop here we have some more guitars coming in. Very subtle stuff. We have a lead guitar going, just playing a very simple lead line, some long notes. The EQ is really tight. And then we have a glue compressor, some tape emulation again, with the same Rhodes warmer preset as the E-pianos, and then some Valhalla Supermassive reverb, and then we also have a delay plugin. Then halfway through the final drop, I've duplicated the lead line and then I've pitched the whole thing up an octave and then added a fully red reverb just to give the lead line some shimmer. We also have some guitar chords coming in, just some strumming. I've recorded the guitar chords 2 times and then I've panned one to the right and one to the left. This is a super common trick used in music production to get a really wide guitar sound. Then on that group with the 2 guitars, I have some glue compression, some OTT at only 5%. Then I have some tape saturation with this plugin. And then I have some reverb and an ozone imager doing some stereo widening all the way at the top frequencies. The final thing we have is this guitar plingy sound. It's super quiet. It's just doubling that E-piano sound from up here, playing the same notes with a super wet reverb. And then into the second half of the last drop, we also remove the drums to give a little bit more development and excitement in the track. And then we bring them back in. Super nice. So yeah, a super simple track. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's been on the Lo-Fi Sleep playlist for so long, because it just fits perfectly in that sleepy lo-fi realm with super simple chord progression and super simple elements without it getting too boring. If you found any of this helpful today, consider subscribing, leaving a comment and liking the video so I can see there are some people enjoying my content. And yeah, that's it from me today. Remember, as always, someday things will get better. See you guys.